I beat the reigning Mr. Olympia outside the Olympia, and I also want to come back and be the second person ever.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So the hype for the first ever Pittsburgh Pro is at its all-time high. And let's start this video with two of the biggest stars who are gonna be there at this show. Martin-Fitzwater and Derek Lansford giving these fiery interviews. So Derek Lansford has a broader vision, and that is becoming the second only man in bodybuilding history to reclaim the Olympia title after losing it the previous year.
I beat the reigning Mr. Olympia outside the Olympia, and I also want to come back and be the second person ever after Jay Cutler to lose the Mr. Olympia title and get it back.
And winning the first ever Pittsburgh Pro, that is going to get him one step closer to his ultimate goal, and that is winning 3 big titles in a single year. So the kind of confidence that Derek has right now off the stage, just a few days out of this show, that proves that he's extremely happy with the way things are currently going.
I know that I've won the 212. I know that I won the Mr. Olympia, but I feel like I'm just now starting to connect the dots on how to really optimize my training, nutrition, and everything to be the best bodybuilder I can be.
And I'm gonna say, unless he does something outside of the box, which is highly unlikely, he's gonna be 100% on one more time. So Derek deciding to enter this year's Pittsburgh Pro as a competitor, that was against the advice of all the experts. But this new approach of keeping a very small circle and not letting any outside noise in or affecting his decision, that worked extremely well for him, especially what we saw at the Arnold, Ohio this year.
I can make improvements through these shows, and even though people are telling me you can't, it's too much, it's impossible, well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that.
So Chris Aceto, his coach, he warned us all when Derek was 6 weeks out of this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro that the entire competition here is in big trouble, as Derek was looking pure impressive even at 6 weeks out. Jay Cutler predicted that Derek's quads, they are gonna look even better for this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro compared to what we saw at this past Arnold, Ohio.
This year is the time for me to push and do more. Next year, I don't know yet.
So would that be enough to seal the deal? Well, I'm gonna say 100% yes, that would be enough. And Derek has some shots which are just 10 on 10. And the way he came in with a lot more detailed back and the side leg at this past Arnold, Ohio. His side shots are also gonna be super combative, even against Nick. So there was a little moment at the end of that interview when Derek was about to announce something and the man kind of backed off. Could it be that Derek might jump in and compete at this upcoming New York Pro as well?
And after this weekend, no, I'm gonna leave it to the stage.
Okay, yeah,
I'll leave it to the stage.
all right.
So the standout part from Martin's interview was him hinting that most of these top guys, they will continue to compete all the way till Cali Pro, as all of these shows, they are just 1 week apart.
But it's always been great because Pittsburgh and New York are a week apart.
Yeah, no, they will. We'll see it. We'll definitely see it. We're going to see the best Pittsburgh Pro. We're going to see the best New York Pro, probably the best Cali Pro, because all these guys are ready. And
finish up in Toronto.
yeah,
It's like
keep
a run there.
Keep a run, man. Keep it going. So
Is Martin also doing this upcoming New York Pro? Well, the answer to that question would be yes. Because if there was a goal that Martin set for himself for this year, that wasn't to win the Olympia title. It was to earn a lot of money by competing in multiple shows, especially the bigger ones. And now that he has already got it for weeks and weeks now, it just won't make any sense if he does just one show and just calls it a day.
I'm the best I've ever been, and that's the most exciting for me. We can just keep improving on that. You know, I'm the baby of the group, as everybody likes to refer to me as. So
the fact is, we have to keep in mind, this guy was also willing to do this past Arnold, Ohio as well. But just because he needed an off-season to put on some more muscle, some mass, skipping the Arnold, that was a good idea. So Martin is claiming to be 10 pounds heavier than the Olympia last year. But the fact is, this should not just reflect on his quads. He already had some of the best quads in the game. Hopefully all of his upper body, except the waistline, that also grew as well. Because the physique that Martin presented last year at the Olympia, that looked so goddamn dangerous. It was perfectly balanced, top to bottom, front to back, and the man was in a phenomenal condition. Now we're gonna see Martin in possibly an even better condition for this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro. So I have not came across any predictions so far where someone has Martin winning the show, or even beating a guy like Nick. He is the youngest one out of those potential top 3. That being said, a very realistic goal for Martin, That is to beat the mutant and solidify himself as a top Olympia competitor one more time.
But no, super excited, super ready, and super improved from the Olympia in Prague. So just excited to show a new package for sure.
So 4 days out of this year's Pittsburgh Pro, got Vito looking super flat and going through one of these final workouts. So how will these additional 6 weeks of dieting affect his overall look, as he was already the most shredded guy in the Arnold Brazil lineup, the show that he won. So it's very much likely that good Vito shows up here in Pittsburgh more or less in that same condition as Brazil, but considerably bigger and also harder. Now we know he's kinda weak in the back shots, but that can only be said about his upper back, and that too in just one shot. The back double biceps, his hamstrings and glutes, they're gonna be as good as any other guy, possibly the best in that shoe. So Vito surely isn't gonna win this shoe, but he will surely win some shots, even among those top 3 guys. Like for instance the front double biceps, which is easily his best shot. And I'm gonna put the abs and thigh in there as well, and possibly most muscular too. And the reason is he has those freaking quad sweep, along with those thick wide lats, and a very small waistline. So the media maybe has put a lot of pressure on good Vito, a lot of high expectations, and this is good Vito's 4th only pro show of his entire career. So the bigger goal of qualifying for the Olympia this year, that has already been achieved at the age of 27, and that is a huge accomplishment. But I for one cannot wait to see him stand some of these veterans of the sport and some of the biggest names in the industry.
Are you crashing during your workouts? Try adding an intra-workout in. You can try something like Silo 9, which is going to have your essential amino acids plus our hydration formula. If you can afford the carbs, Intra R3 has everything Silo 9 has in it, plus carbohydrates and Pico 2 to increase your performance throughout your session.
Next up, we have the physique update from Ramon Dino. So Ramon really putting in some serious work for this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro guest posing. So he had the opportunity to train with Derek for these past few weeks, more than a month actually. And I'm gonna say Ramon Dino finally listened to the critics. Last year after the Olympia, he was asked to invest as much time and as much hard work as he possibly can into the posing and presentation as he does in his training. And just look how impressive his rear lat spread is looking right now. So if he has a vision of beating Mike Sommerfeld at this year's Miss Olympia and becoming the Classic Physique Olympia champion, he has to show up with a bigger back, as Mike's back, we all know, is absolutely bonkers. So this will most likely be an Olympia preview, as both Ramon and Mike, they are guest posing here this weekend. So the biggest hurdle that Ramon has been facing in the past couple of years, that is obviously that weight cutoff. He is already maxed out for the Classic Physique division, and the man looks super lean, even for a guest posing. And he has just a lot of weight to drop to be eligible to compete as a Classic Physique competitor, and he loses a lot of muscle in that process. But that being said, this is gonna be a defining year for Ramon Dino and for Classic Physique. He's a 2-time Olympia runner-up, and this is the year to beat his 2023 Olympia look, because more and more genetic freaks, they're entering this division every single year. So that 2023 look of Ramon Dino, that was absolutely insane, his all-time best. And him skipping this year's Arnold, that is supposed to make a big difference in him being fully fresh for the Olympia this year and challenge Mike Sommerfeld and all these other guys for the Olympia title. The Persian Wolf Hadi Choopan, the former Miss Olympia champion and last year's Arnold Ohio champion, he posted this throwback posing practice from the Arnold Classic prep from back in 2023. So that was one of the most perfect preps by Hadi Choopan and Hany Rambod. And once again, Hany Rambod, he reposted that on his IG story. So some sources out there claim that Hadi and Hany, they never actually stopped working together. If they had, Hadi would have already announced his new coach by now. And it has already been months since Hany Rambod announced his retirement from the elite coaching scene. Now Hadi was extremely angry at himself last year at the Olympia because he could not replicate that Arnold Ohio look. So would the results of the Olympia last year have been any different if Hadi was 100% on the way he was for the Arnold Ohio? Well, I'm gonna say most likely yes, because even less than 100% Hadi, that was tied with Samson Dauda after the prejudging. So Hadi, without any shadow of a doubt, is one of the most dangerous athletes at the moment in the men's open bodybuilding class, because there is simply nobody who can get as hot and as shredded and as grainy as Hadi does. And he has been pretty consistent with that. Now obviously this opinion is gonna change If Derek shows up, looking even better at this upcoming Pittsburgh Pro, beating his Arnold Ohio look. So Hadi Chupan's prep for the Olympiad this year, that has already started. And he's gonna be 100% fresh, and he has this opportunity to peak 100% for the Olympiad this year. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.